Well, that was not exactly a seamless entry to the show tonight. But
oh my gosh, it was not graceful at all. I was pixelated. Oh my God, what happened?
This has just been a mess of a pre-show because I show up to the center and I don't have my ring light. And then Wendy looked perfect at one point and then all of a sudden became the pixel queen. So we were frantic to get her on. So yes, a little bit frazzled here, but we're
little bits and pieces. I think Mercury must be in retrograde. I'm going to check later. That has to be it, Steven.
It has to be. I mean, there could be no other reason. Saying that Time Warner too, by the way.
Right.
So everyone, welcome to TriVersity Talk. And if you're new, give us a like or subscribe on Facebook or YouTube, thumbs up, all that good stuff, hearts. We love it all. And one quick announcement. On Saturday, we are having our first live event in several months at the Best at Hunt's Landing. It will be from 7 to 10. We have live music from Dan Ingvoldson. If you are interested, message us at info@triversitycenter.org. I will throw that up in the comments, or you can just write your own comment and say, I'm interested in going, and we will touch base with you.
And we're calling our event Spring Awakening, which is, Steven, I have to tell you a funny story. Somebody that we mutually know that I love and adore, he called me up and said, Spring Awakening. He said, he said, I saw the play. I don't know if I could sit through it again. I'm like, no,
Wow.
it's against named it Awakening. I thought that was so funny. You never know, right? You just never.
Yeah, exactly. Our first event out was not to show or perform in the musical. Go figure.
Go figure, right?
Oh, well, Wendy, I am so excited for tonight's guest.
Well, we really love tonight's guest. Tonight's guest, let's see, we've been following her career since she started, which is basically, 2 years?
Yeah. We saw her first show, I believe. I mean, it was 2020. It was early 2020, if I recall correctly. We'll ask her in just a second.
Right. It was like so, and I'm like, who is this gorgeous siren? I mean, she was so beautiful, gorgeous face, beautiful body, the way she was dressed and everything. And of course she won that night. And not only that, just her whole interpretation as a drag performer just blew me away. And I mean, this girl was brand new. Well, don't let me just go on and on like this. Without further ado, please welcome the one, the only Cookie Doe.
Welcome, Cookie. Uh-oh. Cookie, you're on mute. There you go.
How embarrassing. Oh my goodness.
No, it's okay because everybody's had things happen to them tonight. Why should you be any different?
Exactly. Lesson learned. We're all the same.
That's right. At the end of the day, and anything can happen to anybody at any time. So don't trust anyone ever. But I digress. It's so great to have you here tonight.
Thank you. I'm so excited to be here. Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, yeah, because tonight, it's going to be everything you always wanted to know about Cookie Doe, but we're afraid to ask. Just kidding.
We're going to bear it all.
So, Cookie, I'll dive in with something that we were talking about in our very frantic green room, because you were telling us what time did you get home and start this process today?
So I got home at 4 o'clock and I was telling Steven, it took me 2.5 hours to start to finish. That's including showering, laying my eyebrows down, all of it. So I'm very, very elated right now.
And normally it takes longer. I mean, because this was the part that really got me. I was like, holy cow.
Yeah, well, you know what? You really turned it out. You look absolutely gorgeous. And I have to say, I happened to jump on before all this started. I saw you. You were like in front of the mirror and you were like looking gorgeous and,
Up close and personal.
Right. You were doing like, hey, I'm flawless number. It was really gorgeous. So at the ripe old age of 29, you decided to start doing drag, right?
Yes, correct. It was right before my 30th birthday.
And up until that point, you had, did you dabble in it? A lot of people like in college did it. What was your story?
Of course. I mean, I loved it kind of for me when I dabbled in it was Halloween. I love Halloween. I think Halloween was that gateway drug that allowed me to dabble into drag. It wasn't per se Cookie because Cookie was nowhere in existence growing up. I've always had thoughts about drag. I always was curious about drag, but I was never really into it until later on in life. But yeah, Halloween was kind of where I started it all.
Wow. So what do you think was the transition for you to start to get out there and perform? What you had to have a catalyst. What was your catalyst?
Hi, Mackie. Mackie, my partner. I mean, it's funny because our relationship is so yin and yang, and we really kind of complete and complement each other, but yet we're so opposites. But he kind of showed me that it was okay to be who I wanted to be and go practice. I mean, he would yell at me and be like, go do drag, go do makeup. And I'm like, no, but I don't want to. But
you wanted to. So what do you think was going on? I mean, he totally supported you, right? But what held you back, Cookie? Absolutely. What was holding you back from trying it? Were you afraid of the judgment of people?
Of course, 100%. I always say it's even being gay, doing drag, being trans, bi, being anything different than what society expects of you. It's hard to step outside that boundary line because you have all eyes on you. I mean, it's not only your family. My grandmother, who's 88 years old, is still alive and sees Cookie. My parents, who are in their 60s, my friends who who live in Ohio, which is a little bit of a conservative state. And, it's really kind of understanding that you have to own yourself and really learn who you are and be okay with that, to really step outside that comfort zone to be who you want to be. And that's kind of what Mackie gave me. Like, I needed that love and that support to know that if I do step out, I have someone to come to help me and lift me up, and be there. But for me, it was just like, once I had that support, it was like game over. I was just like done. And once I learned how wonderful I really am at drag, as not to be egotistic or narcissistic, but let's be real and call a fact as a fact. I just kept pushing myself because now I want to be the best of the best, and I want to be who the girl everybody knows, and that's kind of where I got the name Cookie. Sorry, oh my God, I'm such a chatty Cathy.
No, that's what you're here for. You're here to spill the tea, Cookie Doe.
Nothing for nothing. When you were at Miss Drag Stanhope, which is where we met you in 2020, that was 2020, right? Before the world was topsy-turvy.
Steven, was it 2020 or 2019?
I think Cookie, when was Miss Drag Stanhope? Was that?
I started drag in 2019 and I won Miss Drag Stanhope January 2nd, 2020.
Right before the pandemic. Right. Correct. Wow.
So I would have never known that you had started drag a few months early. I mean, you just commanded that stage. And when I learned that, I was even more shocked. So, I mean, did you just come out of the gate that solid? Or was there like months of heavy training? What went into winning Miss Drag Stanhope?
A lot of it that went into it was, where do I even begin? Because there's so much, but what allowed me to step out so strong was, yes, I did practice. I refused to leave this house until my makeup was somewhat decent. Not perfect, but at least decent, because I'll tell you what, the first time I did these eyebrows, it literally looked like I went outside, walked my dogs, went whoop, and it was not pretty, boys and girls. It was not pretty. So I just practice because, you know, that kind of goes back to my father. My father has been both of my parents in my life and such huge like supporters and really good coaches in life that they kind of taught me to be confident. I mean, like I say it all the time. What kind of introduced me to drag, sorry, Dad, was my father, like he was chief of the fire department, and watching him walking down the street in these parades in yellow polka dot bikinis and a werewolf mask. I was like, that's fantastic. That's amazing. Like, you know, and I never put two and two together. I was just, my dad in that moment taught me, you do whatever you want, like be happy, be goofy. And that's what I live into. And that's kind of where it all comes back to with my confidence and who I am, is just my parents allowing me to be who I am. And instead of being real strict about life, they taught me the differences of what can happen and what can't. And, you know, if I am going to do this, then I need to be able to support myself and do it on my own and be able to hold my own. And that's, I mean, my parents are literally perfect. I
love your whole philosophy. I think, my God, you should be like getting baby drag queens and telling them, tell it to the children, Cookie. You know what?
I'll tell you what, though. I tried having one drag baby and never again. Never again.
Oh, drag babies can be high maintenance, really high maintenance.
I'll tell you what. Children are not grateful for what you give them.
Well, yeah, that can often be that way.
So I would encourage you not to give up on being a drag mama, because you would be an excellent drag mama. You find the right child. What did Joan
I prefer to be Aunt Cookie. I want to be able to give you the advice and give you the love, but once you start whining, you're going back to mommy. I'm not taking care of it.
You're going to sashay at the door. So I'm curious, Cookie, you've come up in drag when RuPaul and those type of drag queens, you know, that's like the gold standard. I came up in drag where it was, you know, hardcore. You know, the drag queens, I know there's a lot of them are still turning it out at 50 and 60, but it was a totally different scene, you know, and the pressure, you doing drag now, the pressure is so much greater because we were talking about people judging you. Well, I think it's the standard is just like insane. And I'm curious, you know, your thoughts about that. Like, do you think that there's pressure to be a certain way, to have to, you know, so many of them with death drops and everything else? I mean, what's your impression?
Oh, of course. I mean, let's be real. There's expectations in no matter what you do in life, whether it's drag, whatever career you want, or whatever choice you decided to do. But the whole thing, is it pressured? Yeah, of course, because I wish I had the body like Brooklyn Heights, or maybe I had I guess that's really all I wish for, because everything else I love. But
one body. It's the one body that you want.
I mean, honestly, that's it. Because for me, it's like RuPaul says, you have to love yourself in order to love anybody, and I always say, or anything, because it's so true. You really have to love yourself and appreciate yourself and understand yourself. Like even when people ask me about my makeup process, I'm like, I study my face. I sat in the mirror looking at where my cheekbones were, where everything was located, how I wanted to lay out my eyes. Yet again, my father, be the jack of all trades and the king of nothing. And here I am just learning how to perfect my makeup, learning to do hair, not so much, and everything. But yeah, the pressure's there because, like you said, RuPaul's Drag Race gives that expectation because everybody wants to be famous. Everybody wants to be known. When you're a drag queen, the one thing you want is all the attention. And that's why I love doing it, is because I love the attention from people.
I will say, like, in terms of your makeup and everything, you've been blessed because you have what they call chameleon face. It's good face. It's I've seen you without makeup. Oh Lord, you should see me without makeup. I've seen you without makeup. You know, very pretty looking guy, but your face takes paint. It takes it and it eats it up, and you paint well. And you know what? No matter how good a person gets with makeup, if the features aren't there, it ain't going to happen.
No, not at all. And I mean, thank you so much. That's really sweet. And I appreciate that because, like I said, it took a lot of work. It took like just practice and different techniques of learning what works and what doesn't. And, you know, I'm the type of girl that once something works great for me, I'm sticking to it till I can't do it anymore, because why fix?
Oh, are we?
Hello?
Hold on, we lost a little. If you could repeat like the last part of
the last thing.
Oh yeah, all I said is why fix what's not broken.
Amen to that.
I'm right on. So I'm curious about, you grew up in Ohio. Dad worked for the fire department, right? Your whole life?
Oh yeah, a little bit. So let's go back way before Ohio. So I was born in Poughkeepsie, New York. And then when I was under a year old, we moved down to Sleepy Hollow, down by the Tappan Zee Bridge.
Yeah, that's great.
I grew up there until I was in second grade. When we lived in Sleepy Hollow, my dad was yet again the fireman. He was chief of the fire department. My mom was head of the auxiliary ladies. At that time, my parents were the ones who actually set up and did the whole hayride every Halloween that is now like.
I did that. Oh my God, Steven, have you ever done that?
I don't think so. No.
Yeah. Horseman thing there, and they to an old town. Is that like Phillipsburg Manor where all the buildings are old and everything?
I know that the hayride starts at the high school in Sleepy Hollow and cuts through some woods through the cemetery of Sleepy Hollow. My grandmother's actually buried in that cemetery, my dad's mother. So it's always funny because growing up, when she passed and we went to go see her grave, we have to cross the bridge that the Headless Horseman can't cross. But she's buried on the side that he's like allowed on. So because the bridge is so old, when the car's going over, it kind of sounds like horse feet behind you, which is like so interesting and so cool.
Wow, it's so cool. That's such a great place. And now I understand why you love Halloween so much. That place is insane around Halloween. They have that jack-o'-lantern thing now too, where they light up all of those blaze. It's called Blaze.
Yes, the jack-o'-lantern blaze.
Cool.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah,
so you grew up there.
Yes, I grew up there till second grade. It was really, my life there was really like involved with the fire department and school and my friends and like everything like that. So my dad worked for General Motors. Because they closed, we moved to Youngstown, Ohio. My aunt, my dad's sister, also moved there as well. So we did have some family. And that's where I spent all my life growing up. I did elementary, middle, high school, and college. I went to Youngstown State University. I had my bachelor's in hospitality management. My focus was in event planning. I did a lot of event planning and went to school there. After graduation, I came out of the closet at 24. If you can't believe it.
Now, I want to just go back to because you moved, you had to make all new friends for elementary school. That's heavy on a kid. Did you know you were gay then?
No, I didn't know I was gay till I was 24. Honestly, what kind of went through my mind, because I did lose my virginity to a boy at a very young age, but in my mind, this is so crazy. But in my mind, I was sleeping with men because I thought that women didn't want to be with men who were plus size, and I was a heavyset kid. And so I needed to fulfill my sexual desires with men until later on in life, I realized, oh, wait, I don't like women.
That is a really fascinating story.
It's great because we love getting everybody's story. Yours is very, very unique. So, we're talking about a lot of things here, like the way one sees one's body. We talk about body shaming and stuff like that. So, or you were not feeling great about your body. And as Cookie Doe, you are, oh my God, your body is so beautiful. And what I noticed in the stand-up that night, the straight women went wild for you. Wild.
All the straight women and men do. I could walk into a room and they're all just like, bleh! And I think honestly what does it is being so tall as well. I mean, in a pair of heels, I'm almost 6'7", 6'8", depending on how many inches. But thank you. And honestly, like I said, it's a lot of practice and a lot of understanding who I am as a person and who Michael is as a person as well.
Right.
So, with the body image issue, I mean, in what you said, so did you go from a negative image of your body to a positive? And if that was the case, how did you make that shift?
What kind of allowed me to do that shift was during my last year of high school, my mom and my sisters ended up finding this really crazy diet that was super strict and super crazy but really effective. So we tried it out, and you're supposed to do it in rounds, and the first round I did it in, I lost 53 pounds in 43 days. Yeah, in 43 days. Mama was like, swoop, 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 melted butter, okay? Yeah, and once I saw that, I mean, I took it and ran with it. And I literally got all the way, started at 369, and I got down to 187.
Oh my gosh.
Wow. Yeah. That's a very slim weight for someone your height. Do you remember the name of the diet? Oh, please do tell.
Of course. And my mother sells it. So if you're interested, let me know. I'll send you her way.
Can you tell us the name of it?
Oh, it's called Omni Nutrition. So it's just this crazy diet where it's 4 ounces of protein, 4 ounces of vegetables, a gallon of water a day. That's per meal. You're only allowed lunch and dinner, 4 ounces, 4 ounces. 2 fruits, and you do that for 43 days with a lot of water. You take vitamins that you supplement and B12 drops, and there you go. Yep.
Wow, and it just burns off. I love it. Cookie Doe gives us diet tips.
I know.
TriVersity Talk.
Wendy Stewart Kaplan wrote a book, and she talks about some of the crazy things she did to lose weight. Wendy, can you tell us about something with lemon juice, if I recall correctly?
Oh no, it was so breakfast for me was Tab. Do you remember they used to have Diet Coke? They used to have a thing called Tab, and it was Diet Pepsi or Diet Coke. Tab, grapefruit juice, and water. Okay, but then I graduated to the Lit and Fit diet. That was Tab, grapefruit juice, vodka, and water.
You need that vodka.
And you didn't. But you need that. And I still to this day would stand by that diet. Your mother and I should talk because I want to compare notes, because I'm sure on my diet you could lose all that weight too. And not only that, you feel a lot better doing it because you're drunk.
Oh my goodness, right? Nothing like a little liquid courage.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, liquid courage. I just love that. So you have sisters. How many sisters do you have?
I am the youngest out of 4 total. I have 2 sisters and a brother.
Okay. And how does your whole, how are they all about you doing drag?
Super supportive. I mean, like I said, I'm really blessed. And I say this all the time. I hate talking about it because I'm really fortunate of how lucky I am to have such a supportive family. Not only when I came out of the closet, everyone's reaction was like, duh. My mom, of course, cried. And, it's funny because she was like, just please don't be a girl or dress like a girl. And here we are today.
Oh, Mom.
Love you. But hey, you know what? And that's why they're such amazing parents, because my parents ended up moving past that and understanding that this is who I am and now support me 100%. And that's why I'm so grateful for them, because they teach me things like that in life that I think are so valuable and important to understand in no matter what relationship or situation you're in.
I love the support. You know what I'm thinking though, because of your age, and I can pretty much figure out the age of your parents, it is a different generation than, I'm probably the age of your parents, but my friends that did drag, it was harder for a lot of them. I mean, eventually, most of the time the parents came around, but almost everybody I know that they have a story, and there was like years of not talking and not being supported and all of that. I find with people late 20s, it's a different story because your parents came up in a different time. Things definitely became more accepting, so it makes a difference.
Yeah, of course. I mean, I will be real. My mom grew up in Brooklyn and my dad grew up in Sleepy Hollow. So they're familiar with that New York life. I mean, they grew up in that whole situation. I mean, so I think to take those moments and those life lessons and those stories and to take them outside of the city and raise their children in a more suburban area, I think kind of really allowed us to build our confidence because we were able to express ourselves because we were used to growing up in such a vibrant lifestyle. I mean, yeah, I mean, my mom sounds like this, so it's always, such a character. She'll be like, Michael, what are you doing?
Oh, honey, I love your mother because we got introduced to Cookie's mom in the pre-show for the talent show.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, she's on Zoom. What am I doing? And I was just like, I'm in love.
And you know what? I take after her. Every day I'm like, I am my mother's child. Oh my God.
You are so much like her. Wow.
So
I would really want to meet your mother, especially she's from Brooklyn. I'm from the Bronx. So we borough girls we got it going on.
Yeah, she would love that. I'm sure. I love introducing her to everybody.
The other component that is so cool that I want you to talk about, you took us on a tour of Tamerlaine Sanctuary. Please share with everybody what it is and what you do there.
Oh, what I work it's amazing. It's a big kid's job. I mean, what do I do there? So yes, sorry. I love that place so much. I'm very excited about it. So yes, I work at a sanctuary and preserve called Tamerlaine Sanctuary and Preserve. We sit on 336 acres of pristine, beautiful land. We rescue farmed animals from factory farming. We also take in animals from abusive situations, neglect, abandonment, anything like that, and we rehabilitate them back into good health, and then we allow them to live the rest of their lives out peacefully and happily. My job, I'm the office manager and the events manager, so my job is I wear many hats. I can't pinpoint exactly what I do because one day, today, for example, I was doing some stuff for Midsummer Night's Gala we have on July 24th. I was also spent some time with the cows. I did a virtual tour for a school.
I love
it. Yeah, I mean, it's literally my day is just all over the place and it's amazing. Yeah, I mean, I always start my day though with coffee and I go say good morning to the animals every morning.
Every day.
So you must have loved animals to pursue something like this. I mean,
no, girl. No, when I got this job, my mother's like, Michael, you're gonna work with animals? Why? With what? I was like, yeah, surprise, I am. Yeah, I mean, at that time, I applied to the job during COVID and I was needed a job. And I mean, if you want to believe in signs from the universe sent me this job and was like, honey, this is what you need to ground yourself and really understand who you are and get a better grasp on life. Because I mean, before this, I was still in that, young, immature mind frame of like wanting to be in the city, wanting to be single, wanting to do all this stuff, where now it's like I've learned to really ground myself. And it's just amazing. It's a beautiful, beautiful place.
It's a spectacular place. Unlike you, and I told you this, I'm completely connected to the animals. And your animals, they're very special. Just like rescue dogs know that they've been rescued. Your animals you could do a children's book about the whole place. You really could. And I watched you with them. You didn't look like no newcomer, Cookie. You picked up one of those goats and then you had a rooster on your head. Was it a rooster or a chicken?
It was a rooster. And that was the first time I ever picked up a goat, by the way.
Show, girl.
I tell you, Cookie, when you pick up something new, you do it and you are a boss at it.
Thank you, Daddy. Thank you, Mom. Because
you're
I
the boss lady with you. I'm very impressed. You picked up that goat like you have been doing it and I'm like, oh God, look at Cookie Doe. She's hauling a goat around the barnyard today.
From Farmer John to a Glamazon, everybody.
I love that. That should be, we need t-shirts that say that. That would be like
this. Yeah. I mean, that place. And so like you asked me, sorry, we digress. You asked me, did I was I into animals and did I need to, I was very cautious around animals. Growing up in Ohio, it wasn't really like, oh, these are animals, they're cool. It was more like these are animals that either we raise to eat or they're just there. I never really had experience. So here, I mean, honestly, Gabrielle Subbert and Peter Nussbaum have really taught me a lot about just like being compassionate and just really stepping back the animals and just kind of seeing how they operate, and just not only them, but Viola, our farm manager, and Chrissy. I mean, that whole team, that whole place is just like a magical haven that's magical. I can't explain it. I'm so happy to be part of it. And I'm so happy to be part of that magic team. And I'm like, it's nice to work for a company that has a purpose. It's nice to actually do something that has a purpose, and where they allow me to be me and celebrate me and allow me to voice my opinion. I mean, it's what everybody in the world has ever hoped for in a job. And I'm very grateful I found that place.
I love it. I need to ask you a very personal question. Yes. What is it like for you when you spend time with the cows? Like, what do you feel? You said you spent time with the cows. What were your emotions?
I mean, it's just really peaceful. It's just so interesting to, like, literally I walked into the paddock, I closed the gate, and Mr. Oates, one of our youngest cows, he's under 5 months old, was just laying there on the floor. And I literally went and just sat right next to him, and he lifted his head, put it on my lap, and I just sat there and petted him. And it's like being in the now. Whenever I spend time with the animals, I really tell myself, like, be here, understand them, pay attention to them, and see them, because that's what kind of allows me to really get them and build that relationship with them. So really, anytime I'm with those animals, it's like I'm putting all my attention onto them, or just the moment that we're in together. So
it's really special. Now, is there like an animal there that you kind of don't get along with? I ask people these kinds of questions, like, is there a drag performer you perform with that you don't really like? But I'm not asking you that one. I want to know which people in your barnyard, Cookie Doe, like, you off a little bit.
Yeah. Is there an animal? No, honestly, even like we have a cow named Diego. He's 9 feet tall and like 2,000 pounds, I believe. And it's just like huge. He's a big boy. And I am a little scared of him, but when he does come and say hello, it is so like cool to be like, wow, like you're bigger than me, like, because let's be real, I'm a big girl, so like it's like cool to be around something that makes me feel so small. But yet again, I don't think there's any animal I don't like. I think it's more that I'm so cautious around, because I never did not like animals. I'm just a cautious person. I'm very meticulous, and I like to plan out before I do. I'm sure, as everyone picked up during this interview, but that's kind of what makes me feel prepared and feel good, and why I think I am where I am today, is because I think before I do. So
Cookie, one of the things that is so special about Tamerlaine is that it's a rescue facility for farm animals. So animals we would commonly think of that are used for food, like pigs and chickens. And so, I mean, and one of the questions you asked us when we started the tour is anybody vegan? And embarrassingly, there was like crickets. Did Tamerlaine change your views on food, or were you already, were you vegan? Are you vegan? I guess that's another question. Maybe I'm making assumptions here. But just how does that change your perception of food working at a place like that?
It changes a lot. Yes, I am vegan. I don't ever want to go back. I mean, my life has been changed. And for me, it's really interesting because prior to this, I mean, I'm a fat kid. I love to eat. I love my snacks. I love cookies. Nothing more I love at night than dunking some milk and cookies before bed.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what has helped me is just understanding that growing up, I guess, let me back up. Growing up, we're constantly told how to live. This is the right way to live. This is the right way to be. This is how you should do to be successful. But as you know, for myself personally, as I started to grow up, none of this stuff lined up. I mean, even when I was younger, I actually did not eat meat till almost 8, 9 years old, I believe. My mom, it was all fruits and vegetables and pasta, not because my mom forced it, but because that's all I wanted, all my choice. But yeah, so it has influenced it because like it allowed me to really understand that food is important in a nutritious way and not so much in just being like, oh, you need your proteins, vegetables, and carbs, but it's more that no, you just need to eat healthy and just understanding. Like I was telling someone the other day, like what I love about being vegan is that it really allows me to get creative with things. And I baked 2 vegan cakes, 1 vanilla, 1 chocolate, and they were amazing. Ooh. Yeah, my mother-in-law, hey Patty, if you're watching, she tried it and loved it. So I was like, yes. But yeah, it really allowed me to understand that there's so much more to life than a 3-course meal. Like we're always told, you need breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Yeah, but you don't need meat on everything. You don't need meat actually at all. Like since I've stopped eating meat and dairy and all this and became vegan, my skin has cleared up almost completely. I've lost weight. I feel so much more energized and focused. I feel so much more in the moment instead of being so like all over the place and just out of focus. So yeah, it has really changed me. And what has helped me was working at the sanctuary, but also a documentary called The Game Changer, because knowing the health benefits behind being plant-based, that's what blew my mind. I was like, whoa, that's amazing.
How does the documentary affect you? I don't know that. So tell us a little bit about it.
Yeah, so it's a documentary about an MMA fighter who travels the world to find the best eating habits to be the most successful MMA fighter, to have better fighting stamina. So the whole thing is about him going into like the plant-based, and pardon me if I get this wrong, I haven't seen it in a while, for a few months, because once I saw it once, I was like, done, I'm into it.
That was it.
Yeah, but like he meets with other people, for example, like the world's strongest man right now. He's a vegan. Most people wouldn't believe that. Yeah, the world's most strongest man doesn't eat meat and doesn't need meat. It's fantastic because as this man goes through this journey, he starts to learn that the more you eat meat, the more it takes away your energy. If you eat plant-based, even for one day, your energy and your blood flow is just so much more fluid as it's supposed to be. And they even do blood tests where they take 3 athletes. One day they have burgers. I can't remember what it is, but they had burgers. One had a regular burger, one had a vegan burger, and I think 2 had regular. But anyway, the next day they did vegan, and they compared their bloods from both days. When they ate the meat, the blood was really cloudy and foggy, whereas when they ate plant-based, it was clear. So it's just things like that I was like, whoa. And not only to mention, like, he, in the beginning of the documentary, he's doing like this rope exercise, where they take the big ropes and you have to shake it like this for like as long as you can. So he's at this gym. On the gym is this wall with everyone's name and the longest they're able to do this rope thing. And people are like maybe 5 minutes, maybe 7, 8.
On the arms.
Yeah, I mean, but it's a really good workout. Yeah, it's a really good workout. So this man does it for like 3 minutes and gives out. Then he went plant-based after like 3 months. He did it for over an hour long.
Interesting.
Done. Sign me up. And all he did was cut meat and dairy out of his life. And now he's just like elated. So definitely check it out. There's so many great documentaries on Netflix that can really just open up your eyes, because at the end of the day, the biggest reason most people aren't vegan is because they just don't understand the harm that eating meat can cause, not only to the animals, but to yourself and to the environment.
The hormones and
the methane. I mean, the methane is
from the cows, you know, has been so impactful in the environment. That's exactly right.
Yeah, I mean, not only that, but like the biggest thing that turned me off was just really understanding when we got Cashew and Oats, who were baby cows, they were under a week old, and they were ripped from their mother, who was who was inseminated to be pregnant, because that's how you create milk. The only way anybody or any animal can create milk is if they are pregnant. If they are not pregnant, they can't create milk. So when they're milking these cows, that's why they're constantly feeding them babies, because they need that milk constant flow. So they take the girls, put her to the side, get ready for when mama gets old use, and then they take the boys and sell them to veal factories. Well, a farmer had this girlfriend, and she called us and was like, I can't let this happen. Can you take them? And we're like, absolutely. We actually want to expand our cow pasture and take on more cows. But yeah, I mean, just knowing that. So that's like with anything too. It's sad. It
really is. It's really sad.
Yeah. So it's really, and just having that connection with those baby cows who were so confused and being like, where am I? What am I? I mean, we had to bottle feed them. We had like, the fact that we had to bottle feed cows is so sad. Like they should be
so young. They so young when you got them.
Given how much we drink cow's milk, that cows themselves have to. It's
right. Well, you know, Cookie, I was totally blown away by that turkey that you have there. Honestly, what I left there with that day, I will never eat turkey for Thanksgiving ever again. Norman was I have to talk about Norman. He was so special. Norman was like, he's so incredible. And when you started taking us on a tour of the barns and you said Norman would be coming with us, and I was like, yeah, right. You know, he's a turkey. Not that I thought Norman was dumb or anything, but I didn't think Norman would have connected on the level that he did. That turkey saw himself as your personal assistant.
Mm-hmm.
And then the piece de resistance, when my husband got really winded and didn't make it to the last barn, he went to hang out by the gate. When we were all in the last barn and you were talking about the pigs that were there and the animals that were there, suddenly Norman wasn't there. I'm like, I guess Norman just got bored of us. When I went to go get Alan, Norman was guarding him by the gate. The two of them were together. He had, I'm telling you, this was like the most, I must have told 30 people this. In every podcast I go on, I talk about this because I never experienced a turkey to that degree. And someone said to me, oh, come on, Wendy. I said, you had to see it to believe it. I actually have the photograph of it. I photographed it as I came out of that barn tour with you. There was Norman guarding Alan. It was amazing. So you have so much to share with people. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, that's Norman. I mean, turkeys, they steal my heart. Same with Norman, not so much Shlomo. He's one of our other turkeys. He kind of stole
Shlomo, right?
Yeah, you met Shlomo as well. He really stole my heart because he's just so, oh God, he's so precious. All these animals are just so precious. And to like be able to see them every day, even like Juniper, who was a pregnant pig and has piglets, and watching these piglets go from your hand size to almost now this big, and you're like, where are you going? Like it's magical. It's magic. Ugh.
So, Cookie, how do people experience Norman and Shlomo and all the animals at
Herschel?
Tours, or how does this work? Because we got a little private tour.
Yes. Yeah. Actually, so we do private tours. You could visit tamerlaine.org. Steven could share it in the chat. If you go to tamerlaine.org and go to visit us right under there, under tours, you can go ahead and book a tour. We do volunteer work. We're open 7 days a week. We're obviously a farm. The animals need constant care. They need to be fed every day. So we're open 7 days a week. You could come tour, come volunteer, and starting June 5th, we will be open to the public on Fridays and Saturdays. Yeah. So we're super excited about that. I know it's going to be crazy, but we're getting ready for that, which is going to be awesome. So yeah, visit tamerlaine.org.
Yes. Two of our former guests on TriVersity Talk, Chris and Jesse, Wendy, they're coming with their two kids to New York, and we told them already. I was like, "You've got to go to Tamerlaine." I said, "I just hope they're open," but they're going to be here in July, so it will be.
Oh yeah, if you guys all go, I want to go too again. Please.
Yes, I will make a quick disclosure. Private tours are a little bit more longer and intimate of a tour, whereas public tours will be a group of about 25 people, and it's about an hour long, where private tours are about an hour and a half, because you get to really spend more time with them.
I totally loved it, you know, and hearing about the backgrounds of these animals. I tell you, Cookie Doe, you are someone that is making such a difference, because every time you take people through there and you tell them the story of the rescued farm animals. And I've worked myself volunteering in sanctuaries in Africa with other kinds of animals, but this is the first time in the US I've ever been to a sanctuary with rescued farm animals like that. And the stories are heartbreaking. It certainly makes you think twice about what you're eating, what you're, you know, putting into your body. Yeah. And I think you're going to have a huge influence on people. Certainly little children, you know, they're like sponges, right? And they take it all in. So
absolutely. That is why, especially because it's really important we do our education program. Most of it is free. Like the virtual tours we do for schools are all free, because it's not about, you know, anything but spreading the education and the knowledge, so that way kids are aware. And I mean, even today, one of our humane educator, hey Katie, if you're watching, she told us that one of the teachers we did a tour with literally reached out to her and said, I've literally cut out all animal products in my life. And that was just a virtual tour. To have that connection and to have that much influence, I mean, that's why I love it there, because it's kind of makes me feel like who I am as a person, because I feel like I always try to be as to be inspirational and to uplift others, because I know how important it is to feel loved and to feel good. And trust and believe, I love nothing more than when people love me. So it's nothing more I want than everybody else to feel loved. So it really does bring everything back to a full circle.
Full circle, right? Full circle. Now, in Tamerlaine, they're also using you in their advertising as Cookie Doe.
Yes. Yeah. Like I said,
I love that. That's great.
Yeah. It's like I said before, it's amazing that they allow me to be me. I don't think, like, when Gabby told me that, because we were in the meeting, she's like, and we're going to have Cookie's Corner. I was like, what? It's like, what's this? And she's like, you know, like an Ask Abby. So yeah, we put this whole thing together. I got dolled up. I went to the farm. Cookie went to the farm. I met the animals. And I mean, that was a magical day too, because not only is that farm picture perfect.
Oh yeah.
But that was that day, that picture with me and Toy, who's the horse. That was the first time I hugged a horse. And I actually was scared of horses up until that point. So that was a really life-changing moment for me. So that whole day, and to be able to experience that as Cookie, was magical. I mean, yet again, that's all I can say about that place, is like ethereal, magical haven. It's wow.
August 2019, when you become Cookie for the first time, did you ever envision that this
Yes, let's be real. Yes. I mean, like you guys kind of said earlier, I want to go to the top. I don't stop till I get what I want, and I get what I want because I practice, I study, and I really perfect who I am. And that's what I want. I want everything. I want all the top gigs. I want all the top places. I want to be the girl on top, because why not? Why not? Why settle for anything
Why
less?
not? So are you planning on auditioning for RuPaul's next season?
Yeah, I did. I actually did apply the year I won Miss Drag Stanhope.
Okay, cool.
Watching back on that video, I said, girl, no wonder why they didn't pick you. You were a hot mess, and not in a good way. But yeah, I think so. For for fun though. I'm not, that's not my final destination. That's not the whole reason why I'm doing this. It's for fun because I would love to just be able to take my personality and try out on those like acting scenes and everything like that. I mean, Snatch Game, I don't know who I'm going to impersonate other than my mother, but
you could do a good impersonation, I'm sure.
No, I don't know about that.
Come on, Celia, get famous real quick.
Come on, Mom.
Really?
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, going back to kind of doing drag for a cause, I mean, you've been doing drag for TriVersity for a couple of years, because when Wendy and I saw you at Miss Drag Stanhope, I was like, I need Cookie for our Share Your Heart talent show. And you performed at the past too and helped us raise thousands of dollars for the food pantry. So, I mean, first off, thank you. But second off, I mean, it must be very rewarding to know that the work you're doing is supporting such great causes.
I mean, honestly, that's the whole reason why I do drag. There's always, because I'm giving back some way, somehow, whether it's, you know, meeting someone in the audience the first time who's never been to a drag show, who maybe freshly out of the closet, who may be newly trans, you know, anything like that. Just having that moment of meeting them. Also with just like at work, having those moments of being able to share a message and get and spread something. Like for me, my name not only represents something sweet and delicious, but it's represents my drag because I want to spread cookies everywhere. I want love everywhere. I want people to be educated, and I want people to understand and to know and just better themselves, and that there's so much more into this life than what most people think. Because at the end of the day, when you think about it, half of the people live in their small town, hometown, and don't get to experience life, and they don't know what's out there. And like, to me, I may seem like a big crazy monster to them because I seen life. I lived in LA for 4 years. I worked in New York City. I lived in Youngstown, Ohio, which was the poorest city named by Forbes magazine. Like,
really?
Yeah, I've been there and done that. Like, I've been in these situations that I've seen I've seen shit. I've seen the worst of the worst, and I've seen the best of the best. And that's why I choose to always be the best and spread the best, because I'm tired of seeing the hate and the negativity and the sadness. So
I'm curious. This is the first I knew that you lived in LA for 4 years. So what was that? Girl, you were holding out on me. I want you to, let's open up Pandora's box. What was that like for you?
Beautiful. It was lovely. I had my best friend there since middle school, who was amazing to have. Hi, Alicia, if you're watching. But overall, I would never live there again.
Never.
It was beautiful, and I love the lifestyle out there, and I love how there was fresh produce almost everywhere. So being vegan would have been so easy out there. Yeah. But honestly, the people out there are just so cold. The people are just so... They're all there to be famous and be somebody, so that's what they're focusing on. So all the relationships I just felt were really like, yeah. So I knew after three and a half, 4 years, I was like, I gotta go. But yeah, it was, my time out there was amazing. So like I told you earlier, I have my degree in hospitality. I did event planning out there. I designed red carpets, movie premieres.
Oh my God, it's great! Wow.
Yeah, galas, Sweet 16s. I worked with other nonprofits. I was part of this company where we designed everything from start to finish. I mean, you know, some events I did was Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them in Central Park. Or, you know, I did TwitchCon in San Diego where we rented out the baseball field. I don't know the baseball team, San Padres maybe. We rented out the baseball field, and I was part of a team that built these pods for gamers that were interactive, that dropped the temperature, that raised it, that blew gusts.
Get out! Wow.
Yeah, it was amazing. And the celebrities that I got to see and meet, and just like the life was just really great, but it was tiring. There was one point towards the end where I was in New York for Friday through Sunday. I had to fly home Sunday. I literally had only Sunday to move out of my apartment to be able to hop back into a plane to fly back into New York for another event, then down to San Diego, back to LA for another. It was tiring. And so I was just like, I'm not for me.
I'm done. It's interesting how you found your own way eventually. A lot of that, I think, has got to do. Your mama's from Brooklyn. You got that Brooklyn in you, and yeah, there was no LA for you after a while. You know,
girl. I said there's too much flavor in this cookie. It's time to go. Yeah. Bye.
So, Cookie, what's next on the horizon for you? What events do you have coming up?
Yeah, so actually tomorrow I'm performing at Heat in Pennsylvania, Wilkes-Barre, PA. At 11:30 showtime. Sunday, I'm at Pasta di Oro in Woodsboro, New York for brunch. Sorry, but the tickets are sold out. Yay! So excited for that. And then at the end of the month, May 29th, Stanhope House. That's where we're always at every month. You can catch me there.
Oh, I would love to go on the 29th again. That's Nikki Starr's show, right?
Yep. And the theme is prom.
Oh my God. Yes. All right. That's the 29th. Yeah. We should definitely make a point of going. I would like to do that.
Yes. I would love to have you guys there.
Yes. See, we plot on TriVersity Talk. What our next
is. No, because you know what, we feel like you do. I could tell from your whole attitude. You want to be out there. You want to live it. You want to taste it. And Lord knows we have all worked really hard, doubly hard through this pandemic to have some sense of normalcy. I mean, you know, I saw drag on 20-degree days outside. God bless people.
You go, Bell Pepper.
Really. You know?
Yeah.
Absolutely. How cool that we can now see you in the Stanhope and oh, the latest, I'm sure you heard, it went from if you're vaccinated, no masks outside to now it's no masks inside. This all happened today.
I'm still going to be cautious because you know what? Yeah, this is the first time in a year I haven't gotten sick, so.
Yeah, I know that, right? Not a cold, not anything.
Hey, why not be safe than sorry? All it is, I always say it's a piece of fabric. It's like wearing a bra. It's like wearing underwear. It's for a minute. Jesus Christ. It's like, get over it. Ugh.
I tell you, this has been a wonderful year. The only time I got sick was with COVID.
There you go, Steven.
You should have worn your mask.
I tell you, I should have done something right. But didn't get a cold, didn't get the flu. I mean, yeah. I mean, not shaking hands, wearing masks. I mean, these things are effective. And
yeah, the shaking hand thing, using the hand sanitizer, and anyone you talk to that vigilantly wore their mask, I had nothing. Like Steven, over a year ago, I got COVID. I have not been sick, like not once since then. So I'm not sure I want to let all those germs come in again, you know?
Why not? Why? Like, hello, like if you could be safe and be healthy, it's mind blowing how people are so against it for the most silliest reasons.
Right.
It's really mind blowing. But you know, I'm very excited because like not only myself, but all the other drag artists out there. I mean, it's going to be amazing to get back out there. I know quite a few girls who have been really, you know, struggling and need drag to be able to survive. So, you know, I'm excited for them as well to be able to get back out there too.
I mean, I will say you mastered doing virtual drag. And I think, again, it's because you were just so willing to watch yourself and perfect it. But I recognize that a lot of people did not have that wherewithal.
It was
the Elliott number
for a lot of people. You know, some of the ones I know that have been doing it for a bit, like Sherry Vine and a couple of the other people, they really had to reinvent themselves on Zoom, on Stellar, on all these platforms.
Yeah.
You didn't really have to reinvent. You hadn't been doing it that long. And then boom, you took to it like a duck to water. And they all did such a great job too. But not everybody. I was really sensitive to not everybody that I knew that did drag. Svetlana Stoli in the beginning, you know, was posting on Facebook, and she's always over at Lips. Oh my God, I just can't. Oh no, Lucky Chang's, I can't do this. I'm not feeling it. But even she started to, you know, learn how to connect. People need to understand it's not the same medium. Let's face it, Cookie, when you're on the stage, and you said it, when you're getting the applause and you're the it girl, there's nothing better than that. It's much harder to be performing into a lens in your bedroom.
Yeah, I mean, I recently had brunch with Bell Pepper.
Oh, yeah.
So we were like, oh, I love Belle. She is like, I keep telling her, like, I'm gonna steal you because I want to be best friends with you. Hey, Belle. So we finally got
Belle had to do it all in front of the camera too, you know?
Oh my God, she's amazing. Like I did it like 4 times. She's done it so much and she's just so great at it. And you know, but like we were talking about it, it's not like for me, like I live off the applause. I live off of the eyes, the vibration. I could feel people's energy. And you know, for me as a performer, what's really important is that I do performances that make people feel good, that make people want to get up and dance and have a great time. Because at the end of the day, when you're coming to see a drag performance, it's about letting loose and having a great time and just being yourself. You know, like some of these girls are so focused on choreo and so focused on these props. And I'm just like, no, it's not about me. Yes, trust and believe. I would love to be up here doing a lyrical number and having a great time. But we're here to have a great fucking time. Let's boogie, let's dance, let's get them excited. You know, that's what people come out to do. They are stepping out of their lives into this life, into this fantasy, and take them there and run with it. And that's what drag is. And that's what drag should be. And that's all my opinion.
I do want to talk about your talent for Miss Drag Stanhope, which I thought was the most incredible thing ever. I mean, there's this build up. Cookie comes out, and I think you were carrying like a suitcase or something.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
So I was in a tuxedo, had some leather leggings, some pink fuchsia pumps. These bad girls right here.
Outfit.
Yes.
These shoes. And I had a trumpet case. And I walked out because I was going to play the trumpet. So I sat down, I got ready, I opened my case and I realized, fuck, I left my trumpet at home. What am I going to do? I was searching, I was looking under the music, I looked in all the compartments, I couldn't find it. So I was like, I have to use my backup. And that's when I went, whoop, pulled the recorder out of my hair, put it together and played some hot cross buns. Took them out and walked off stage.
I wanted to give that a standing ovation. I was like, it was just so spectacular.
I was like, to me, like talent shows are like, for me personally, I'm not a talent show girl. I do TriVersity's Got Talent because I love to just give a performance.
It's
like
fun.
It's a fun breakup from all the singing and dance and everything like that, where it's like, oh, okay, something that I really don't have to judge on, you know, because I'm a lip syncer. I mean, how much talent can that take? Just kidding, so much.
A lot of talent to do it well.
I placed top 3 twice. But yeah, so I forget where I was going with that.
It's okay. We were talking about the talent that you did in the Stanhope for the talent show and how the trumpet wasn't in your case when you got there.
Oh yes, yeah. And so I played the hot cross buns and took my bow and walked off. And I mean, it's just,
but it was brilliant.
Yeah, of course, because it's campy, it's fun. It's like that's who Cookie is. Like I'm goofy in that. I love being so silly. And you know, one of the judges wrote, there should have been more. You left me wanting more. And I was like, yeah, that's the point. Hence the name Cookie.
Exactly.
You know, like that's the whole point. Is like, wait, what? You know, yeah. So
beautiful simplicity comedy. So Cookie. So, I mean, we've come to the end of our time. I could keep going for another hour, but
let's go if you want. I got nothing else to do. I'm all dolled up.
You're just here with us tonight.
This girl's got to eat. So, but before we go, we like to give the floor to our guest. And if there's any last things you'd like to say, any last plugs you'd like to make, take the stage.
Oh my goodness. I'm not prepared. No, I'm just kidding. I would just like to say thank you all so much. Thank you, TriVersity, for allowing me to be part of your organization, not only with Share Your Heart Talent Show, but TriVersity's Talk, allowing me to integrate my nonprofit, Tamerlaine, into you, and hopefully teaming together to change the world, not only for animals, but for humans too, to make the world a better place. And thank you to everybody that came out tonight to watch. I hope you all learned tonight to really appreciate yourself and love yourself, to understand that you're so important, and that when you really put yourself first and your needs and build the life you want, life just falls into place and everything else is wonderful. So that's all I got for you guys.
Well, Cookie, that was beautiful. And thank you so much for being here. Thank all of you for watching. We're on hiatus next week. Teague on tours going on.
Hiatus. Steven's going on vacay next week. Oh, Cookie, one thing. I have to say this to anyone that's listening. You showed me how to put on false eyelashes so I'm not ripping my own out. And I am forever grateful to you for that.
Oh, you're so welcome. I'm glad I could teach you a little chocolate chip of life.
Good night, everyone.
Good night, everyone.
See you in 2 weeks.
Bye-bye.